Real quick, in this short video, we have to go over a really interesting fight. If the true protagonist of Zenless Zone Zero went against the second coming of Toji from Jujutsu Kaisen, who is coming out alive? Now, if you saw my recent community posts, you know that some people believe that the odds are against Maki's favor. But I'm here to prove to you that this fight is a lot closer than you think. I mean, these characters were both recorded to have heightened senses, superhuman abilities and reaction times, have some of the highest aura in their respective series, and seem to have access to some advanced weaponry. But one person is gonna have stats that slightly beat the other, and we're gonna find out who that is, starting with Anby. Now, we all know an important factor of every fight is how fast a character is and how fast they can react to attacks. Luckily, Anby is no slouch in any of these factors. She's able to react to advanced alien creatures known as ethereals easily, can casually react to other superhuman characters in the game as well, and last but not least, can easily deflect bullets without even trying. Assuming that these bullets are just as fast as they are in the real world, she's deflecting attacks that can range between Mach 2 and Mach 3. Which, if you don't know, Mach is a measurement for the speed of sound, which means that 3 Machs is 3 times faster than the speed of sound. But enough about reaction time feats, what about her speed individually? Well, there's not really much scenes of Anby trying that hard in any combative experience. However, if you go off the character demos that we've seen before, she does seem to take on the properties of lightning sometimes. Now, if we assume that wasn't just a fancy effect, that would mean Anby is traveling at the bare minimum 186,000 miles per second. But to be honest, I might downplay this a bit because we don't know for sure if she's actually taking on the properties of lightning. It could very likely just be effects to make the trailer look cooler. Now, the reason I'm slightly against that belief is because of a certain dialogue in the game, hinting towards her potential to conjure a mastery over lightning. But even with that confirmation there, I might take this with a grain of salt still, to be honest with you, until there's a cutscene or scene in the story that actually confirms her being around relative to lightning speed. But even without giving her that feat, we still know that she can react to incoming attacks that are moving at around 3 times faster than the speed of sound, without even trying. Now, for a person to be able to react to attacks that quickly, one can infer that they'll also have to move relative to the attacks that they're deflecting. So if we apply that logic in this scenario, that means Anby is moving around Mach 3, which is still, to be honest, absolutely crazy. But we know that Anby is a fast character, but what about her durability? Well, we haven't really seen her durability pushed to its absolute limit just yet, but we do know that she casually survived a missile explosion, completely unfazed somehow, which is kinda crazy. But other than that, she's not really shown getting hit that often in the story, which means we don't actually know the limits and how much damage she can actually take. But we know bare minimum she survived an explosion from a missile, which is equivalent to roughly 10 to 40 tons of TNT, which is still pretty impressive, to be honest. But unfortunately, she hasn't really been hit that much in the story, so we don't actually know how much she can actually take. Okay, now that those other feats are out of the way of being speed and durability, let's look at the real shit Anby can do in terms of damage output. Now, we all know Anby is able to conjure and control lightning. Going off of the properties of lightning, we can understand that lightning can be as hot as 30,000 degrees Celsius, or for you Americans out there, 50,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Which means not only is she hitting you fast as fuck, but she's burning you alive in the process. Now, unfortunately, as far as strength feats go, it's mostly just speculation because she hasn't really tried that hard in the story at all. But obviously, next patch, we're going to be getting some interesting shit on her strength, so stay tuned for that at least. So we all know Anby is strong, but how does she fare against Maki's Zenin? Well, the first thing we're going to have to look at, again, is the speed feats. Well, luckily, Maki has speed and sensory feats in abundance. Even pre-awakening, she was strong enough to catch a bullet with her bare hands, effortlessly taking down her sister in the process. She was recorded to be able to dodge attacks that are up to Mach 3 in speed, being 3 times faster than the speed of sound. She was also able to keep up with a 15-finger Sukuna, although he was heavily suppressed, and even get praise and accolades from a 20-finger Sukuna, who compared her adaptability and sensory feats to that of Maharaga. If you don't know who Maharaga is, to put it extremely simply, it seems to be a being that can adapt to any attack perfectly. So the strongest sorcerer in history, comparing her to that being is a massive feat. We also saw that she was able to dodge the world-ending slash, which is the same move that, you know. And on top of all of that, she was one of the few characters that were able to land a massive blow on Sukuna, heavily nerfing him. His injury was so bad that he had to manually pump blood while fighting everybody off. So now that we know Maki's a menace when it comes to speed, reaction time, and adaptation, and she's able to go toe-to-toe with the strongest enemies in the verse in terms of speed. But how does her durability compare to Anby's? Well, durability is a stat that Maki has in abundance as well, as she was able to survive a hit at Mach 3 by Noya, survived being burned alive by Jogo, one of the strongest disaster curses, survived the Black Flash by Sukuna himself, and managed to catch a bullet with her bare hands without a drop of blood from the impact. I won't have to even go that deep in depth for you guys to know that she is durable as fuck. So now that we know that she's extremely durable and fast, how does she compare in terms of combative ability? Well, she seems to be extremely strong with multiple weapon types, including one of her strongest win conditions being the Soul Katana. To put it simply, the Soul Katana mangles your fucking soul, completely bypassing your physical defenses and attacking you straight on. And to go even further, her battle IQ is something to boast about as well. She was able to adapt and outplay projection sorcery. And to be honest with you, projection sorcery has to be the most confusing shit to cover in my entire life. The fact that she was able to outplay that shit in real time while my ass is struggling in my room to comprehend that shit is crazy. So long story short, her battle IQ is massive and she'll always find a way to outplay the foes that seem to be feasible for her to beat. Now, as we mentioned before as well, Sukuna did say that she's able to adapt and react on the same level as Mahoraga. So not only does she have an overpowered win condition, massive speed feats, crazy durability, and impressive battle IQ, that Sukuna is actively comparing her to Mahoraga mid-fight. So now that her durability, speed feats, and combat prowess have been addressed, who would win between Maki and Anby for real? Although both Anby and Maki have comparable speed feats, Maki's durability is just another level of crazy. While Anby tanking the missile point blank is extremely impressive, Maki has tanked some attacks from a guy that can wipe out a whole city in seconds, and got a compliment from the same guy that her adaptation is similar to that of fucking Mahoraga. Not only that, but she has an extremely potent win condition in the Soul Katana. Given that ghosts and spirits exist in Zenless Zone Zero, we can come to the conclusion that each character most likely hosts a spirit themselves. And if that's the case, then as soon as she's hit with the Soul Split Katana, it doesn't matter how high her durability is, Anby is getting cooked right there and then. So even though Anby is a very, very talented fighter, and extremely strong in her own right, with comparable speed to Maki herself, Maki just far outclasses her when it comes to durability, battle IQ, and weaponry, unfortunately here. So Anby Nation, unfortunately we lose this in a high diff. Anby can definitely get some hits here and there, but this nigga Maki is just built different, unfortunately, man. Fuck. So anyways, if you guys enjoyed this, comment down below if you have anything to dispute. And please be nice, please.